The night I was fired, I didn't cry. Not in the office. Not in the elevator. Not even when security walked me out like I had stolen something. I just held the small cardboard box with my things and smiled. Because the person who fired me had no idea what she had just done. And 3 months later, she would beg me to come back. But by then, it wouldn't be my decision anymore. I worked at a luxury fashion startup called Velmora. Small team. Big investors. Huge social media presence. I wasn't famous. I wasn't the face of the brand. I was the operations manager, meaning I fixed problems before they became disasters. I negotiated with suppliers, handled warehouse logistics, managed influencer contracts quietly in the background. And most importantly, I built the vendor network. Every manufacturer, every shipment route, every emergency backup contact. It took me 4 years. The CEO, Ariana Blake, was brilliant in front of cameras. Sharp jawline, perfect voice, millions of followers. Investors loved her. But Ariana hated one thing: when someone else received credit. And recently, investors had started praising me. Not publicly, but in meetings. She keeps things stable. Operations are impressively tight. She's the backbone. Backbone. That word bothered Ariana, because she wanted to be the heart and the spine. Then came the influencer disaster. One of our biggest ambassadors posted a competitor's product by mistake. The internet exploded. Orders paused. Stock prices dipped. Emergency meeting. Ariana walked into the room furious. "We need someone accountable," she said coldly. Everyone avoided eye contact. Then she looked at me. "You manage influencer contracts." I stared at her calmly, but she posted without approval. Ariana crossed her arms. "Then control your influencers better." The room went silent. I knew what was happening. This wasn't about the mistake. This was about power. 2 days later, HR called me in. "Restructuring," they said gently. "Budget realignment. Operational optimization. Corporate words for, you're being removed." Ariana didn't attend. She sent a short email instead. "Thank you for your contributions. 4 years. Reduced to 1 sentence." When I walked out, I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I didn't warn them. I just handed over my access card and left quietly. But here's what Ariana didn't know. The vendor contracts, most of them weren't directly with Velmora. They were built on personal trust. My relationships. Handshake agreements first, paper second. And when I left, I didn't take anything. But the trust left with me. 2 weeks later, I started getting calls. First from a fabric supplier in Milan. "Are you still managing Velmora shipments?" "No," I said calmly. Pause. "Should we continue priority allocation?" I smiled slightly. "That's your decision." Then the warehouse logistics partner emailed. "Payment delays. Who is our new contact?" Then the emergency packaging supplier. "Last-minute change requests are increasing." I answered politely every time, but I didn't interfere. Meanwhile, Ariana was doing interviews, claiming the company was streamlining operations, claiming everything was smooth. It wasn't, because operations isn't glamorous. But when it collapses loudly. 3 weeks later, shipping delays began. Limited edition drop failed to deliver on time. Influencers complained publicly. Customers demanded refunds. Investors called emergency meetings. Ariana looked tired in her next live stream, but she smiled through it. Then came the real problem. Our main overseas manufacturer shifted priority to another brand. Why? Because they trusted me, and I was no longer there to smooth tensions. Production slowed. shrank. Ariana tried hiring a replacement. 2, actually, but systems aren't built in weeks. They're built in years. And the twist? I wasn't unemployed. Remember those investor meetings where they praised me? One of them had reached out privately. Ever considered building something of your own? At the time, I had said no. Now, I said yes. Within 2 months, I joined a smaller fashion label as COO. Not public, not flashy, but backed by quiet capital. And we had something Velmora didn't anymore. Stable operations. Suppliers trusted me. Warehouses trusted me. Influencers respected me. Because I didn't use them. I protected them. We launched our first collection quietly. No celebrity drama. No viral stunts. Just quality delivery. And then something unexpected happened. Velmora missed another major drop. Guess whose brand filled the gap? Ours. Sales surged. Press started comparing brands. New label outperforms Velmora in fulfillment. Ariana finally called me. Unknown number. I answered. Silence for a second. Then her voice. We need to talk. I stayed calm. I'm listening. She exhaled slowly. Things got messy after you left. I said nothing. She continued. I may have underestimated your role. Underestimated. Interesting word. We'd like you to return, she said carefully. Head of global operations. Higher salary. Equity. 4 years ago, that would have meant everything. Now? I glanced around my new office. Our shipments were moving on time. Our reviews were glowing. And our investors trusted me. I appreciate the offer, I said calmly, but I'm exactly where I need to be. Silence on the other end. You're choosing a smaller brand, she said softly. I smiled. No, I replied. I'm choosing stability. She didn't respond. Before hanging up, she said one last thing. You could have warned us. That was the moment I almost laughed. Warned her? The day she fired me, she didn't ask for clarification. She didn't review performance. She needed a scapegoat. And she chose the backbone. I didn't need to warn you, I said gently. You removed the foundation yourself. A month later, Velmora announced strategic restructuring. Investors replaced Ariana as CEO. Public statement framed it as expansion planning. Private truth? Operational collapse erodes confidence. Meanwhile, our brand expanded internationally. Slowly, carefully. One evening, at a fashion industry event, I saw Ariana across the room. No cameras around her this time. No spotlight. Just quiet conversations. She looked at me, walked over. You won, she said quietly. I shook my head. This wasn't a competition. She gave a small, tired smile. It always was. Maybe for her, but not for me. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet growth. Sometimes it's letting someone remove you. And then watching them realize you were holding everything together. The night I was fired, I didn't cry. Because deep down, I knew something they didn't. You can replace a title. You can replace a face. But when you remove the foundation, the whole building shifts. And 3 months later, they weren't begging for forgiveness. They were begging for stability. But by then, I had already built my own.